The aim of my presentation today is to talk about the importance of ICT in our 21st century classrooms, and just to give some ideas and suggestions on how I use ICT in my lessons. So, first thing I'd like to ask you is, why? Why is ICT so important in the modern day classroom? Well, the first thing that we need to remember is that our current schooling system is outdated. The schooling model that we use at the moment was created for a different time and age. So as technology has grown and developed, our schooling system has not. And it hasn't incorporated those changes. So the lack of change actually directly affects our students. The school system still doesn't recognise technology as such an important part of our lives. So we're finding that children are being led down two different tracks, where ICT is being used at home, and it's being used a lot even for simple communication and simple routines. And then at school, it's being viewed as somewhat of a distraction, and children are being penalised for that distraction. Let's just imagine how great our teaching could be if we could harness the power of technology and integrate it into our lessons, activities, games, etc. Imagine how much more we could achieve. Now, we don't want to make the mistake that just because children are growing up in a digital age, that they know how to use this technology for their learning. That's where we, as educators, come in. We need to show them how. This is where we can use the constructivism learning theory. For those of you that are not familiar with constructivism, put simply, it's knowledge which is built on, based on past experiences and past learning. So, using our already stored information, but building on it and learning even more. Using our foundations from life to enrich our learning experiences now. So, as a teacher, about to integrate some ICT into my lesson, the first thing I need to do, based on constructivism, is find out where are my students at in terms of experience and knowledge. This is the foundation that you will build upon. We know that using ICT can be a great tool for multiple intelligences. So there's a lot of students out there who we know some are visual students, some are auditory learners, others are hands-on learners. One of the great things about incorporating ICT into a lesson is that it caters for a range of these different learners, and you'll have more of an engagement in your class. Another great thing about using ICT in the classroom is that the students are interested in it. I always find when I bring out, say, the iPads in a lesson, so much more interest is gained almost immediately throughout the class. It's a great way to get more involvement from your peers and from your students. So here's some ways that I've used ICT in my classroom. Hopefully this is going to give you some ideas and inspiration. So, iPads. iPads can be used for anything, every subject you can think. So, just for an example, I use it quite often in my maths rotations. So, when my kindergarten children are doing rotations, quite often I have maybe 4 stations. One will be a counting game, one would be a measurements activity, and one would be the iPads, of course. So with the iPads, you can choose any game or activity that you want your students to be using, and you can link it to any topic that you like. So I'm saying maths, but you could do science, English, art, you name it, anything that you want. There will be an activity or a game that the students can play on those iPads They spend about 10 to 15 minutes at each station and then they rotate around. Smart boards. Now, my absolute favourite smart board program would have to be Study Ladder. I might just show you quickly a little bit on how Study Ladder works. So I've got here, this is the Study Ladder site with all of the resources. You can see here we've got mathematics, English, science, financial literacy, health and safety, so many different topics. Let's just go back up to mathematics, and we're going to choose, let's say length. Okay, so here's an activity for preschool to compare length. It's just loading now. So the students come up and they take turns to press, of course, on the screen, start. Which pig has shorter legs? They choose down here. And then they go to next. And you get it copied if you get it right. So that's just one example. Of how fantastic Study Ladder can be. ICT can be tailored for all ages and stages of whatever age group you're teaching. And, or just for an example, I even use it in preschool or even with early childhood students. So we use the iPads in preschool to learn new songs. For example, we were learning about the solar system, so we used the iPads to look up some songs on YouTube, and then we learnt them, and we had a really great time inviting the parents in for a morning tea and singing about our solar system, singing the songs that we'd learnt on YouTube, and showing them what we'd been working on while the children are at preschool. So that was really fantastic as well. So I hope that I've inspired you to use ICT in your lessons, and I hope that I've been able to show you just how diverse it can be and how you can tailor make it to fit what you want.